Y'all know I enjoy roasting the hell out of Amazing Lucas, right? My bad. The unamazing Wokus. I roast the hell out of him from his girly voice to his girly actions, right? To the girly earring, whatever, man. I wanted to look at this old clip of him going at Steven Crowder. I like Crowder. I think Crowder's dope. So don't forget to hit the like button, drop some comments. Tell me what you think about this.
Why don't more black people vote Republican, Lucas?
I bet you he thought that, oh my goodness. I bet he been doing this for years. Won't stop, can't stop.
Oh my goodness.
I think I've been doing this shit for 13 years, bro. But what the shirt say? Let's see what the shirt say. Miss me with that nonsense? Man, that's right. It's better than that swallow shirt he be having.
Let's be honest here. When it comes to Steven Crowder, he's never been funny. I know. Quite the shock for some of you. But that's the truth, right? He's to give you an example, you know that friend who says funny things every once in a blue moon? That's Steven Crowder, right? It's the difference between having a car and having a relationship.
What the hell are you talking about? He funnier than you? You're jealous? Like, Crowder is definitely funnier than Lucas. But he's sitting here, oh, he says funny things once in a while. What are you then, Lucas? You think you hysterical, probably. You not. And this is pre-airing. He got like a small one. He don't got the long one that just be flinging around the room.
Car. You know the friend who's like, well, I have a car, but as far as when it starts, well, that's up to the car. That's essentially Steven Crowder with humor. Unless you think, of course, I don't know, dressing up as a woman, okay, to prove some point about transgender.
What the hell is Crowder doing? What was the purpose of putting a booty shot in your video, Lucas? There probably is more context to why he did this, and this is like a funny moment in Crowder's video. You just gonna zoom in on his butt. Lucas, man, you revealing yourself, man. Just be you, Lucas. You ain't gotta pretend. Be you, man.
It's funny. That's not funny. That's gay. And if Steven Crowder is gay, I don't have a problem with that. Neither does the Republican Party. The Vatican and Christians may have a problem with it. But hey, as far as the Republican Party and Conservative Party goes, hey, the more the merrier. All right. Now, if you think teaching two grown men Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when you barely know it yourself, hey, like I said, I don't have a problem.
All right, let me actually review this because I've won tournaments in Jiu-Jitsu. Let me take a look.
For the merrier. All right. Now, if you think teaching two grown men Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, that's the Hodge twins. You know, they got white belts too.
Jiu-Jitsu when you barely know it yourself.
What's his rank? What's Crowder's rank? Because it looks like he's wearing a blue belt. Steven Crowder, BJJ. He's a black belt. No, he's not. He's a purple belt. He's the guy next to him. He's talking about the guy next to him. Okay. So Crowder's a purple belt. At least, what is this nigga? Yo, Lucas don't know nothing. Yes, in fact, you can start teaching at blue belt level depending on the class. They let you do kids classes and purple belt. You can do adults classes. What is Lucas talking about? What is I've taught a class before? I'm not a purple belt either. To be real, I'm sandbagging though. That's the only reason why the coach let me do classes, because I'm sandbagging. I didn't get promotions because I didn't show up as much, but I would go to tournaments. That was my thing. I always figured if I'm winning tournaments, why do I need to show up to class? It was stupid. I was young. So I didn't really have a rank. So I was pretty much sandbagging and just bullying at tournaments because my rank wasn't high, right? There's people that are black belts that used to train with me, and we both started as white belts. But that's my fault. That's my fault for not, like, I had so much going on. I would like to get back into jiu-jitsu and then get back into tournaments. I'll probably have to compete in the old man tournaments, and I'll probably whip some ass up in that though. Like, what's some ass? But yes, if he's ranked, this looks like he's blue belt at the time. That could be purple depending on the lighting, right? So if he's a purple, yes, he can absolutely teach grown men how to do jiu-jitsu, especially if they're white belts. Like, what is wrong with this, man? This is what happened when you don't know nothing about something and you talk about it.
So, hey, like I said, I don't have a problem. If you're gay, you're gay. It is what it is.
Wow. So because he do jujitsu, you're saying he's gay. There's a picture of me slamming someone on their head, guys, by the way. That was my first MMA match. I think I got some like jujitsu pictures somewhere. I said jujitsu pictures. Jujitsu pictures somewhere. I got that somewhere. I'll show it to you another time.
It is. So the problem with Steven Crowder is that he sees black people through the prism of TV. And when I mean TV, I mean black and white TV, if you get my drift, okay? He sees them as merely just props, okay? Puppets. Something to humor his generally white conservative audience. Nothing wrong as far as with the white conservative audience. Very much wrong with using black people as props, okay, as puppets. You see this, through his staff. There's no one on the show that's black. He constantly has black people on the show, who agree with him, who, he's like, hey, laugh at my jokes because they're funny. Ha, ha, ha. Good job, black person. That's the extent of how.
Can they not find him funny now because they're black? They're not allowed to find him funny now?
Steven Crowder sees black people. The other is pretty much rap artists and athletes. That's it. Anything out of those two categories, right? He's just befuddled. He's completely perplexed. Just what? Black people farm? What? They're black farmers? What? They're black lawyers? What? They're letting them in the schools now? That's where Steven Crowder's.
Yo, he's wildin'. He's wild. Yeah, Crowder is funny. Crowder's mad funny. He's ODing right now. This guy, he's out of pocket. Crowder's hilarious, bro.
Mindset is. This now leads us to the idea, the notion, the myth of reparations. There is nothing to
How did I know this is about to go to reparations? I knew. Just something told me in my heart that I was like, he about to talk about reparations. That's Lucas. That's what he do. This is about to be a reparations talk for some weird reason. We already know.
The blood boiling faster in a white conservative than to mention reparations. They'll lose it. Just try it out if you don't believe it. Just try it out. They'll lose their freaking mind. I don't know what it is about understanding that, hey, a problem that mofos cause has not been addressed. And It's been year after 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 year.
Always looking for a handout. That's Lucas. Always looking for a handout, bro. That's what he do. Laziness.
Be a ripple effect. Let's see. Keynesian economics, right? Think about it that way, where the problems at the top seem to trickle down over the years and years because you've never addressed the actual problem. Okay, just how the people at the top will make all the money. Well, it trickles down in theory. That's the same thing. It's the same problem, except instead of money, it's problems. Okay, it's internal.
Just sound like a bunch of crying right now. That's what this sound like. This sound like a whole bunch of just tears falling from his face. This what this sound like right here. That's what that sound like. I really need it. There's some things I gotta get. Red Bulls gives you wings. That's what it sounds like to me when I'm hearing Lucas. In fact, this is a good representation of Lucas, actually. I'm gonna keep this locked and loaded. I'm gonna keep that saved.
Internalized hatred. There's a lot of issues going on from that have never been addressed. A group of people have been wrong, and you never actually paid them what they were owed. Okay? That's it in a nutshell. This leads us to this COVID relief bill. Now, in this COVID relief bill, there is a slither that is taken off for people of color. Okay? That's what the relief bill is. It's taken off for people, farmers of color. Okay, farmers of color. I'm gonna play you a little segment.
Yeah, play the damn segment, bro. You starting to get boring too. You always been boring.
From Steven Crowder, where he goes on this racist tirade.
Okay, let's see if it's racist. Let's see if it's actually racist or if it's just jokes. Let's actually test it out. Let's see for real, because we can't trust Lucas' judgment.
Anything from, well, how do you prove that you are discriminated against? just really makes your brain just seep through your ears. I find it very funny that when it comes to Republicans, then in some cases it's all about facts and evidence, but in other cases,
oh my gosh, this dude, play the clip, bro. Wow. Yeah, Wokus. Wokus over here crying, bro.
this is all about ad hominem attacks and muff feelings. And they go on to say such stupid jokes as, oh, I built a Hennessy tree. It's very interesting.
No, I had enough of this thing. I had enough. Play the damn clip.
Around friends. Now I get it.
I don't know where you find this many farmers of color. But they did, and $5.2 billion are being allocated exclusively for colored farmers. Farmers of color, roll the tape.
We begin today's show looking at a major provision in President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill that aims to address decades of discrimination against Black.
He almost fell asleep. He almost fell asleep at the damn. Huh? You signing something? Oh, let me smell some hair. It's gonna wake me up. Let me smell some hair.
Hispanic, Native American, and Asian American farmers who've historically been excluded from government agricultural programs. The American Rescue Plan sets aside $10.4 billion for agriculture support and allocates about half the funds to farmers of color who are, quote, subjected to racial or ethnic prejudice because of their identity.
What? Look how happy this nigga. Yo, he look excited. I've been waiting my whole life for this.
As members of a group.
My moment to shine. He's like, yo, we need the Black farmer. He's like, yes. I've been waiting. We ready for the pictures? Pose. Trying to get some more Black farmers.
Unquote. The U.S. Commission on Civil Rights confirmed as long ago as 1965, the U.S. Department of Agriculture discriminated against Black farmers, but little was done to address the problem.
100 years ago?
Yeah, most happy about the new policy. It's these people. So, yeah. I'm on Black. I'm buy a plow, man.
I'm going to plant that corn.
Go get it.
Yeah, that's funny. I can see why people were offended, but that's funny. That's pretty funny. Yo, why you put the scheme in there? That's so great. And then they listen to the detail. Oh, people, the detail. The houses are on fire too. All right, this is dark. This is definitely edgy. This is edgy as hell. This could have been on Mad TV for sure, right? I can see why people are mad, but I wouldn't be mad about it. Oh, you know what? No, not mad. But I can see why people would be offended because that's the type of comedy it is. But I'm not mad or offended.
John Deere, Barack Obama, mother. I'm the president of plowing that head.
I thought the last thing they would want to do was be farmers. Wasn't that a big problem for hundreds of years?
Yeah.
Isn't that why Arsenio Hall called himself the urban man's Johnny Carson?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Are people lining up out in the middle of cornfield, Iowa for new dunks?
You said there's a lot of Black and Latino farmers where I'm from. I wouldn't know, but that's cool, I guess. Especially if they want to do it. I guess that's cool. But I'm not mad at it. My papa, grandpa is a farmer. Hey, that's what's up. You be on the tractor too, huh?
How would you prove this, by the way? Like, how would you prove that you've been discriminated
against? You don't have to. You just
I didn't get that loan. Sir, you had no credit. Well, that should not have stopped me from getting the loan.
I planted a Hennessy tree, but it's not growing.
Well, technically...
He said a Hennessy tree. That's funny. Lucas is way too sensitive, man. People like him are the reason why comedy is on life support. Exactly. These are just jokes, man. They're jokes that's meant to ruffle feathers, but it's not racist. At least not in my opinion. I don't think that. Oh, you know what? Let me say, it's not a big deal. It's not what is that? A wall of Pampers next time, or that's a wall of mask. I was like, okay, he's wilding with the wall of Pampers behind him.
It did grow, but that shit ain't XO.
I put it in the ground.
I planted a VSOP XO tree. I'm getting in some niche esoteric cognac humor, motherfucker.
Don't white people just go to their neighborhoods and build urban farms and ruin their Isn't that what
how it works?
In Detroit. Turns out the soil content is a high level of meth.
Yeah, crazy.
I didn't know.
That and teeth. There's random teeth littered everywhere.
And by the way,
in my arugula.
Let me read this. Even if it was racist, can we be honest? Racism makes some of the funniest jokes. Yeah, that's why I was like, I had to switch it up because even if it is racist, it's not a big deal to me, right? Some of my favorite TV shows had mad racism in it. And it was hilarious. All in the Family, The Jeffersons. George Jefferson was probably the biggest racist on television, actually. Like on a regular basis, he was wilding, bro. Wilding, especially with his son dating the other one. He was going crazy. He was going crazy with that. But yeah, it's not that big of a deal, man. I always tell you guys about this damn skit that I seen. I forgot the guy name. I think it's like Ari Shaffir or something like that. But he had a skit where it was free trips back to Africa. He's giving away free trips back to Africa. Hilarious, bro. And of course, people was going to get upset or whatever. So what, man? It's a joke's a joke.
Do you want to know what the irony is about that whole little skit right there? Is that if you look into the bill, as I said, it's people of color, farmers of color who are getting this slither of this COVID relief bill. Okay. And if you look into what they consider people of color, it's Hispanics, Native American, and Asian. Okay. So this isn't even exclusive to black people.
Yo, his feelings just hurts. His feelings, and the way he talks about white people, I don't know why he would be so upset. To Idaho area, people are now finding fault with Mikey Rooney's role in Breakfast at Tiffany's like 60 years later. They're mad at the guy. That's crazy. Wow. It's just they finding a reason to be mad. It's amazing to me how we're cracking down 60 years later on people. It's stupid. Word. It's been a whole life. It's not new. It's crazy.
But for some reason, Crowder makes the jokes about black people. But if you look at the bill and how it's worded.
If he made jokes about every race that's on that bill, would you have cared less? Would you not make your jokes towards white people? You called them ignorance. Like, this is crazy. Coming from Lucas, this is insane. Like, come on, bro. Relax.
Once again, another reason
tone it down.
Why many black people do not like the term people of color, because they see it as an all-encompassing word, which as
I don't like that term either. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if it's just because I'm black, but because it pertains to me being black, I guess. I just don't like it. I would prefer you call me either black or you can call me an American. Well, how about you call me by my name? Call me by my name.
As we can see, is to them, everyone's a person of color to a certain extent, except white people. And even then, they can be like, depending on the shade, you can be a person of color too. All right. Depending on how much you're an ally, we'll consider you a person of color. So it all goes back to the old saying of Malcolm X, the wolf versus the fox.
But being friendly and being a friend, I think, are two different things. I think there are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly. And therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out, though, that
I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative, and in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. Their appetite is the same. Their motives are the same. It's only their mannerisms and methods that differ.
Democrats.
Is this before or after he changed his view on things? Because Malcolm X did change his views on a lot of things before he passed.
A little more discreet with the racism, where Republicans are a little more out in the open. That's where the problem lies. And honestly, I think that whole little...
So all Republicans are racist? All. Oh, you sound like a fool, bro. You sound like a straight fool. All of them? Every single one?
Shut the fuck up. I know that was you. I ain't even got to look. I should send your ass back to Crenshaw P with his hot ass coat hangers, bitch. Would you like that?
Usually I look at Crenshaw Pete. I don't even want to look in Crenshaw Pete's direction today. I don't want no smoke, Crenshaw.
Tirade, that little display, is emblematic of a bigger problem. Because what I'm starting to notice, I'm looking at debates here and there,
All right, so every white Republican, every single white Republican, that's what he means, white Republicans. So every single person who happens to be white and happens to be a Republican is racist. I thought I have another clip for that. Think I have another? He tripping. He tripping still. Still, that sounds crazy. Every single white Republican? That's wild.
Forums here and there. And I'm starting to notice there seems to be an underlying issue, okay, within white conservatives. And that is the belief that the country is being taken from them. That what they mean by being taken from them is that they're no longer going to be majority. And they fear that. I don't know why. And they are trying their hardest to make sure that doesn't happen. So instead, what I would suggest, instead of trying to hold on to the old days, to the glory days.
No one should take Lucas' suggestion serious in any way, shape, or form.
I would just probably evolve. I would adapt. I would, change your messaging when it comes to, like I said, the Republican and Conservative Party, right? Work on the outreach. People like this, it's going to make my job that much more difficult because I'm saying, hey, they got conservative values. We were raised conservative values. And then you'll have a black person who comes out and say, oh, Steven Crowder is on your team. Oh, Candace Owens.
Shut up. Like, what's wrong with this guy? You can believe in certain philosophies and not agree with other people who happen to believe in philosophies. The same thing works with martial arts. Like, come on, bro. This guy is crazy. Like, wow, because Crowder's a Republican, then no one's going to listen to us. Okay. All right, man. All right. People can say the same thing for you because I guess you would be a poor representation of Republicans, right?
Owens, who's constantly talking about George Floyd and every other black person is on your team. And then I have to.
He's not allowed to talk about George Floyd now? Crowder isn't even allowed to speak on George Floyd? Come on, where we at with it now? What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? He can't even speak on George Floyd now because he's white?
Wait, listen. But wait, hear me out. And poof, off they go. Damn well knowing that the Democrats are just as bad. Okay? So what I would suggest is get over it. Okay? It's a classic term everyone loves throwing around. Get over it. Get over it. Get over it. Hey, you don't have enough.
When you going to get over slavery? Let me ask you that, Lucas. When are you going to get over slavery? When are you going to get over reparations? When are you going to get over that? This guy here is a clown.
Money to save, get over it. Oh, you don't make enough? Get over it. Slavery happened years ago. Get over it. So
it did happen years ago.
That's what I'm going to say to many of you.
Get over it.
Get over it. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you...
Corny ass. Yo, fam, Lucas is a loser and he need to get over it. He need to get over slavery, all that stuff, all that. But tell me what you think in the comment section. Hit the like button and subscribe. I feel like a small piece of my life energy leaves every time I have to look at this mother. You know what?